We had 2 weeks to spend traveling Thailand. She likes sugar and spice and everything nice. I like snakes, snails, and puppy dog tails. She was seeking crystal clear waters and beautiful resorts on private beaches. I was there to rough it in the jungles and see the wildlife, the elephants, the monkeys and lizards and snakes. We were both there for the food, to spend as little money as possible, and to avoid these guys at all costs. This is our quest for the perfect dream vacation in Thailand. First stop, Khao Sok. We're boating with a small group to our isolated floating bungalows for a night. Our tour guide reassured us it's about a 45-minute boat ride if the engine doesn't break, about a 9-hour paddle if we don't lose our paddles, and about a 12-hour swim. Our guide Kui also admitted to me that he wears sunglasses so that his group won't notice if he falls asleep during the tour. The beauty of this place is unlike anything I've ever seen, like something out of the movie Avatar. Incredible white limestone cliffs dripping with stalactites into fresh blue-green water. It's hard to imagine these mountains were made by tiny animals millions of years ago. And with our trusty captain leading the way, we arrived safely at our bungalow. You can choose between several different bungalow styles, ranging from primitive, consisting of a bed and 4 bamboo walls, to modern, consisting of a bed and 4 plywood walls. Baby, have you seen my flop? I can only find my flip. We chose the modern bungalows only because we booked this last minute during the high season and it was the best deal. The bungalows are extremely relaxing and will rock you to sleep. There were no mosquitoes to distract you from the strange noises coming from the jungle, but we did find this in a nearby cave.
Look what Hank Shima found in the cave. Oh my god. Wow.
Several optional tours leave throughout the day to other bungalows, jungle treks, and other scenic parts of the lake. Or you can just kick back and kayak, or swim, or ponder, or dangle your feet and observe the latest male swimsuit fashions from Germany. Hello Inez, schön dass ich dich kennengelernt habe.
Good morning. Come and have coffee.
We had a great quiet group. At first everyone kind of kept to themselves, but by the end of the trip everyone was exchanging Facebook profiles. Kui and the other locals were awesome. They reminded me a lot of the cowboys back home in that they were always cutting up and you could never get a serious answer from them. That guy looks tired. Another coconut roadkill. There are no signs pointing to the secret secluded resort we're trying to find, but I had some directions written on a napkin that I accidentally used to wipe up some Tom Yum Goong. Either this is the place or our heads are about to be shrunken. At the southern tip of the island is La Lenta Resort. Video. Cozy climate-controlled bungalows with running water, clean restrooms, and room service if that's your thing. Is it just me or is it strange to have a swimming pool 30 feet from a tropical beach? While the wife got a massage, some tropical spirits, and bikini time, I finally got to trek through the jungle in search of wild animals. Hey dude. Yep, I'd be strutting it too. I scoured the jungle and saw some monkeys and a giant millipede, but absolutely no snakes. Where the heck are all the snakes in Thailand? Back at the resort though, some other scaly beasts were waiting for their glamour shots. The TOKAY gecko is the second largest gecko in the world, growing up to 51 centimeters long. Though human development is reducing its range, this lizard is adapting well to living in man-made structures. Oh, he's going after the cicada. Nice. There it goes. Chomp time. And it's common to see them sticking to the walls and ceilings, ridding the place of big bugs and small rodents. Tokay is an onomatopoeia for its 2-syllable mating call. American soldiers in Vietnam heard something different and called it the FU lizard. Luckily, that name didn't stick. Thailand's superstition tells that if the Tokay calls 7 times, it's bad luck. Luckily, this one called 8. Departing from Koh Lanta, there are several other island tours. We chose the one that had the least tourists and best snorkeling, Koh Rock. There we sponged up empty beach paradise and crystal clear water. In shallow coral reefs, uncountable species of colorful fish are just as curious about you as you are about them. Clownfish, parrotfish, puffers, damsels, you name it. The highlight was an 8-foot-long green moray eel. If you like snorkeling, you'll go bananas at Koh Rock.
Choco, Choco, come on, 3, go, go, go.
Back at Lalanta Resort, we were making friends with the locals and marinating in relaxation. Next, we're abandoning the finer luxuries to bask in the basics. I chose a secluded river lodge deep in the jungle, desperately hoping to finally find some wild snakes. We weren't there 5 minutes before we stopped to appreciate the dracos clinging to the trees. A draco or flying dragon is a lizard that can flare its ribcage into wing-like gliders and glide from tree to tree. And you'll never believe what was hunting the flying dracos. A paradise flying snake. You heard me, a flying snake. I thought you only saw flying snakes on National Geographic, and here's one found 5 meters from our lodge. This is truly paradise. Keen eyesight helps these snakes hunt lizards, frogs, birds, and bats before subduing them with a mild venom that's harmless to humans. To avoid predators, this snake will race up a tree. If that doesn't deter the predator, the snake will leap into the air, flatten its body, glide, and pilot to another tree. After releasing my first snake, I didn't waste a second before charging into the jungle. The cicadas in the canopy made me feel at home with their tornado siren sounding calls. Knowing I was trekking in a place where I could rustle up a python or a king cobra was too good to be true. I felt like I was 5 years old again, venturing into the mysterious and dangerous forests for answers. But I was warned to watch my step closely, especially for the Malayan pit viper. This highly venomous invisible snake kills more people in Thailand than any other, and if it couldn't get any more adventurous, the sun went down. I don't know how many hours I lost track of. My flashlight thoroughly searched the surrounding wilderness and I was able to find 2 snakes, including this red-necked keelback. This snake was formerly listed as non-venomous until it recently killed someone, and almost several others. Most bites are dry, but if this snake can chew on you long enough to envenomate you with fangs in the back of its mouth, you've got a problem. Halfway across the planet, and again I find myself watching out for the rednecks. I supposed I should get back and let the wife know I wasn't eaten by a tiger.
What's wrong, baby?
I can't go anywhere.
What's the problem?
This guy is
Alright.
sweet.
I'm gonna let him go. It's a moth. He's showing you his abdomen. He's got these orange and black bands and he was vibrating his wings. He's trying to pretend like he's a bee so that I'll leave him alone, but I'm not gonna hurt you. Next, we're headed to another supposedly beautiful secluded beach at the Sunshine Paradise Resort on the east coast in Khao Sok National Park. Hope I'm saying that right. We arrived late, so checked into a $15 room that was better than any $60 room in the US. Then the next morning checked into a $45 room that was better than any $200 room back home I've stayed in. Not to mention it was on a private beach. We realized a swimming pool 30 feet from a beach is great to rinse the salt water off in. There are a lot of dangerous animals in Thailand, but nobody ever warned us of falling coconuts. Upon research, several news outlets have claimed that you're more likely to die from a falling coconut than a shark attack. And check out this watermelon-sized fruit dangling in the canopy called a jackfruit, probably because it's really going to jack you up if it lands on your melon. The nearby temple is a great place to set aside your irrational fears and live in the now. Notice I'm not attempting to pronounce this one. High above a peaceful ocean, I can't help ponder how difficult it must be for a Thai immigrant to leave all these remarkable settings and fairy tale backdrops to plant roots in a drab, spiceless landscape.
Shooting video.
Alright guys, it's Christmas Eve and I'm about to go road cruising for snakes for the first time. I'm so excited that the camera's shaking. I can't hold the camera steady. We might find cobras, we might find a python, we might find vipers. Wish me luck. Merry Christmas. After a good hour of road cruising, Santa brought me one of the best gifts I've ever been blessed with. And after another hour, the deadliest snake in Thailand, a stocking stuffed with Christmas vipers, was going back to the resort with me for some glamour shots. I've never had a white Christmas in Texas, but here I'm having the white-lipped pit viper Christmas I've always dreamed of. Pit vipers are named after their heat-sensing organs called pits, the holes between their eyes and nostrils. Big elliptical pupils, keen for night vision, a sensitive forked tongue able to taste the smallest molecules in stereo, and heat-sensing pits leave sleeping lizards, birds, and active frogs little hope for hiding. Alright, if there was a snake that I was concerned about, it was this one. This is the Malayan pit viper. And what makes this snake so dangerous is that it's almost invisible when it lies in the weeds. This little girl will sit there motionless and she won't move. If you don't see her, and if you step on her, she will tag you. Look how gentle she's being. But if you get bit by this guy, and if you don't get to medical attention, there's a good chance you're going to say goodbye to your foot or your leg. You might even die. You ready to go back home? Next, we're headed to the mountain beauty of Khao Yai, but first we're going to stop and check something off the bucket list. Sawadee crap. There's a saying we say on Mexican surf safaris that only a surfer knows the feeling. If you've ever been on a long trek through the jungle streams and up the steep banks on the shoulders of an elephant, it would be just as difficult to describe the feeling with words. An immense sensation of beauty and awe will have to do for now.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Just a few hours drive from Bangkok is Khao Yai National Park. Scenery, waterfalls, and wildlife, and monkeys were the highlights of our afternoon.
Bless you.
The more you watch monkeys, the more you start to see your friends and family in them. Just outside the park, we found an awesome bungalow. Inside the bathroom, we found an Asian painted frog. And inside the shower, check this out, a snake shed. There were all sorts of cracks in the wall so the geckos could come and go as they please. You don't even have to leave your house to find amazing animals here. You know what's awesome, guys, is taking a dump in Thailand and looking over and there's a gigantic spider next to you. I'm really hoping he doesn't jump up my leg. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There he is right there. I love this country.